Dear viewers, Notes on English Literature, Introduction to Poetry. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? By William Shakespeare, Sonnet 18. Brief questions with answers. Question 1. What is the form, genre of Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Or what type of poem is Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Answer. Sonnet 18 is a Shakespearean sonnet. Question 2. What is a sonnet? Answer. A sonnet is a kind of lyric poem consisting of 14 iambic pentameter lines. Question 3. What is the rhyme scheme of Sonnet 18? Answer. The rhyme scheme of Sonnet 18 is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Question 4. What is meant by sonnet sequence? Answer. Sonnet sequence means a series of sonnets on the same subject. Question 5. How many sonnets are there in Shakespeare's sonnet sequence? Answer. There are 154 sonnets in Shakespeare's sonnet sequence. Question 6. What are the main themes of Shakespeare's sonnet sequence? Answer. Love, friendship, and times enmity are the main themes of Shakespeare's sonnet sequence. Question 7. What is the theme of Sonnet 18? Answer. Eternal love is the theme of Sonnet 18. Question 8. What figure of speech is there in Shall I compare thee? Answer. There is an apostrophe in it. Question 9. What is an apostrophe? Answer. An apostrophe is an address to an imaginary character. Question 10. Who is thee in Sonnet 18? Answer. The thee in the poem is the addressee, a young male friend of the speaker. Question 11. Name the figure of speech in a summer's day. Answer. The figure of speech in a summer's day is a metaphor. Question 12. What is a metaphor? Answer. A metaphor is an implicit comparison between two dissimilar things without any issue, without any use of as or like. Question 13. What does a summer's day mean? Answer. In the context of the poem, a summer's day means youth. Question 14. What is the effect of repetition of the word more in the line, thou art more lovely and more temperate? Answer. The use of more twice enhances the charm and beauty of the youth, the speaker's friend. Question 15. In which poem does the word temperate occur? What does it mean? Answer. The word temperate occurs in the second line of Sonnet 18. It means stable or steady. Question 16. What is meant by darling buds in the Sonnet 18? Answer. The darling buds in Sonnet 18 means the blooming flowers which everyone loves. Question 17. What does rough winds do shake the darling buds of May signify? Answer. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May signifies that bad weather in May causes harms to blooming flowers. Question 18. What does Shakespeare mean by summer's lease? Answer. By summer's lease, Shakespeare means summer's duration. Question 19. Name the figure of speech in summer's lease. Answer. The figure of speech in summer's lease is a metaphor. Question 20. What is the meaning of all too short a date in Sonnet 18? The meaning of this phrase is very short duration. Question 21. What figure of speech do you find in Eye of Heaven? What does it suggest? Answer. There is a metaphor in Eye of Heaven. It means the sun. Question 22. What does the poet mean by and often is his gold complexion dimmed? Answer. But the line the poet means that the sunshine is often obstructed by clouds in summer. Question 23. What figure of speech is in gold complexion? Answer. There is a synecdoche in gold complexion. Question 24. To what does his in and often in his gold complexion dimmed? Refer. Name the figure of speech in it. Answer. His refers to the sun. The figure of speech in it is called personification. Question 25. What kind of statement is and every fear from fear sometimes declines? Answer. It is an epigrammatic statement. Question 26. What is an epigram? Answer. An epigram is a terse statement that suggests universal truths. Question 27. Name the figure in every fear. Answer. It is a synecdoche. Question 28. What does and every fear from fear sometimes declines mean? Answer. It means that all beautiful things on the world are subject to lose their beauty. Question 29. Why does the poet point out the negative qualities of the summer? Answer. The poet points out the negative qualities of the summer to emphasize its unsteadiness. The summer's unsteadiness highlights the eternal beauty of the fair youth. Question 30. What is meant by nature's changing course untrimmed? In Sonnet 18. Answer. In Sonnet 18, the quoted phrase means naturally or spontaneously. Question 31. How has the poet added universality to Sonnet 18? Answer. The poet has added universality to the poem by reference to the laws of nature. Question 32. What does eternal summer mean? Answer. Eternal summer means everlasting charms of youth. Question 33. What is the figure of speech in Nor shall death brag? Answer. There is a personification in it. Question 34. What is personification? Answer. Personification is a figure of speech in which a lifeless thing is imagined as alive. Question 35. Where in Sonnet 18 do you find hyperbole? Answer. In the last 4 lines of Sonnet 18, there is a use of hyperbole. The poet's emotional expectation of his friend's eternal life in the last 4 lines of Sonnet 18 is a hyperbole. Question 36. What is hyperbole? Answer. A hyperbole is an exaggerated expression. Question 37. What figure of speech do you find in so long as man can breathe or eyes can see? Answer. There is a use of caesura in the quoted line. Question 38. What figure of speech do you find in so long lives this and this gives life to thee? Answer. There is a use of caesura in the quoted line. Sorry, I repeated. There is a use of caesura in the quoted line. Question 39. What is a caesura? Answer. A caesura is a break or pause in the rhythmical progression of a verse line. Question 40. What is the literary name of the repetition of so long in the last 2 lines of the Sonnet 18? Answer. The literary name of the repetition of so long in the last 2 lines is anaphora. What is an anaphora? Answer. An anaphora is the repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of successive lines or sentences. Question 42. What is a quatrain? How many quatrains are there in Sonnet 18? Answer. A quatrain is a kind of a stanza consisting of 4 lines which are arranged according to a particular rhyme scheme. There are 3 quatrains in Sonnet 18. Question 43. What is a couplet? How many couplets are there in Sonnet 18? Answer. A couplet is a pair of 2 verse lines which have similar number of feet. There is only one couplet in Sonnet 18 at the end. Question 44. Did Shakespeare really exist? Answer. Despite the controversy about Shakespeare's existence, it is generally agreed that there was really a man called William Shakespeare who was born and died at Stratford upon Avon, lived between 1564 and 1616, wrote 37 plays and owned the Globe Theatre in London. Question 45. What are the major controversies about Shakespeare's existence? Answer. The major controversies about Shakespeare's existence are: number one, an Egyptian claimed that one Shakespeare originally wrote these plays in Arabic long ago, and an Englishman translated them into English, and the Arabic name Shakespeare became Shakespeare in English. Number two, in recent years, an English woman claimed that all those 37 plays were written by a woman because it is impossible to know the feelings of a woman so well by a man. Thank you for watching.